I get it. I get the questions. After years of saying that we only want fall calving, and after years of saying that I only want red cows and blue roan cows, why did I go buy a bunch of black cows? Especially cows that are having babies out of our time frame. They're having spring calves. Hey, I get it. I would be confused too because I went against so many things that I've been saying for years. For those that don't know, here at Running Springs, we run what I consider a pretty small herd of registered Simmental seed stock. So we raise registered cattle. We have our own bulls that we even will collect semen from and ship all over the country. But for years, I've talked about the fact that we have to keep a, quality over quantity herd. We can't really have a whole lot because we're limited on space. Running Springs itself is like 300 acres, but half of that's woods. Some of that's dedicated to the horses. It's just not all flat grazing ground for cattle, which does limit us, which is why over the years, we have separate leases where we put our heifers or we put bull calves, or we'll rotate some of these mamas over to sometimes. You also have to take into account, how much hay ground we have to provide hay for these cows and all those things. There's lots of factors that goes into the amount of cattle head that we can have. And over the last year or so, we have actually gained more access to more land and have more hay ground. We have more grazing ground. And for this next year, it will be usable. So we'll be able to put cows on it. And not to say that we want to build fast, but it's opened up the ability for us to have not only a fall herd, but also to start having a few cows calve in the spring. This is going to be useful for two things. Sometimes we have cows that just don't catch, meaning they don't get pregnant when they're supposed to, and for whatever, or they lose a calf or whatever. And so you don't lose an entire year. You just breed them when it works for them, and then they can calve a little bit later, and they have a few others to do that with. It also allows for us to spread out our time. We don't have the manpower, and we don't honestly have the emotional bandwidth to calve out 100 calves at once, right? And it also opens your buyers up. So a lot of people have only a spring herd. So when they come to your cattle sale and all you have is fall calvers, or all you have are heifers born in the fall, it might not go with their timeline. Hello. So that addresses one part of the question. Second part of the question, you're my normal type. You're red. Why did I get all these ladies, right? Because contrary to popular belief, my dad is not the one that wrote the check for these girls. So basically, this expansion it's due to a lot of things. It's due to years of hard work on my parents' part and on the farm's part. But it's also due to the blessings that social media has bestowed upon us. Social media has allowed us to invest in our true passions and in our outside of social media businesses, meaning the horse and the cattle company. So with that being said, going forward, Running Springs isn't just Matt and Terry, my parents. Going forward, Running Springs is Matt, Terry, Katie, Jonathan. So my parents, me, and my husband, which means basically the herd is ours. It is no longer my cows versus their cows versus my cows, my embryos versus their embryos, his bull versus if I get a bull. Like, it's all of ours. It's a family owned business. We all own basically equal shares, which means I had, unfortunately, the ability through social media to invest in this company that I'm now an equal owner in. And we needed more heifers that are going to be having heifers. So a lot of these mamas are bred with confirmed heifer calves or just good breeding stock. And with cattle prices being high, it didn't make sense to just go buy a whole herd of recips or a whole herd of whatever. It made sense that we start chipping away at it and buying cows that are having heifers or buying cows that we could put embryos in or whatever. And for the next few years, we're just going to keep every heifer we have to then expand. And even if, okay, maybe this heifer isn't the quality that we normally would keep, we're keeping it because we can put embryos in it and she can be a recip. So these two are just being really cute. So I wanted to focus on them too. But basically, we're just in a different as a whole, as a farm, as a family, as a business than we were 2 and 3 years ago. And we have some really big dreams and goals. And I really can't wait to share a lot of things with you over the next year. And it's really exciting. And so that's kind of what went into our decision making going into this sale. And there's a couple other sales we are going to be going to this winter. So if we end up shopping, I'll tell y'all and I'll take you along with me. But yeah, I'm not giving up on my love of the reds and the roans, y'all. But I am now also a black cow owner. So we're all growing. I hope that made sense. Let me know if there's any other questions that you would like some insight on, but I'm just really excited. It's nerve-wracking. Any type of expansion is uncomfortable and we're having growing pains, but I'm here for it. Stay tuned.